The Forgotten Gargoyle by Michael J. Egbert. This book is dedicated to my children. May you always know that those things which make you special lie within. Deep in the old country, at the foot of the great mountains, lies a village known for holding the grandest festivals in the world. Visitors will travel a great distance to experience each celebration. These festivals vary throughout the seasons. Some celebrate the village's renowned berries, while others focus on local artists. During each celebration, visitors will make it a point to tour the village. You could see it in their eyes, the astonishment they had as they walked past each surviving structure. Unlike most of the world, this village has found a way to look as it did centuries ago. Every visitor who walks through the town will commend the locals on their efforts in preserving so much history. As visitors stroll across the cobblestone streets, they can see where some of the world's greatest minds gather to find solitude and rest. Several museums have been erected throughout the village to honor those who had once called its streets their home. Although the village is known for so many things, what stands out most is the cathedral found in its center. The cathedral was built hundreds of years ago as a place of worship and refuge. Every building created in the village has been given a mandate to not block the view of the cathedral's pristine spires. For years, artists have donated their work to this house of worship, allowing guests to see their efforts in depicting our world as they viewed it. In many instances, it's the artists' renditions that have attracted so many visitors through its halls. Inside the grounds, guests will find marble statues of mothers holding their infant child. This artwork guides them into a towering doorway leading past the cathedral's stone walls. While in the middle of the great hall, guests may notice above the pillars images of heavenly creatures carved into the stone. They appear to be singing as if they were ushering each visitor through the sanctum. This impressive series of artwork continues along the walls. Each section possessed a different canvas, portraying the artist's interpretation of God's love. Each piece of art is considered a masterpiece unto itself. Despite possessing limited similarities with each other, every guest seems to walk away with the same impression: gratitude. Each of them feels honored to behold such craftsmanship. That sentiment would be true for every piece of art except for one, a lonely gargoyle found in the corner of the grounds. Over the years, the village has hired experts to preserve each piece of art. A great amount of effort has been spent caring for the collection on display. That is, all except the gargoyle hidden in the corner of the grounds. Anyone privileged enough to visit the cathedral would be in position to listen to guests praising every piece on display. Surely their ears would hear a symphony of approval for all of these works. That is, all except the gargoyle who is found alone in the corner of the ground. The person lucky enough to listen to such commentary is as likely to hear an equal level of critique towards this gargoyle. In their faces you would find their disgust as they walked by the statue. It's not an uncommon practice for guests to be seen mocking the work. Under their breaths, you could hear them whisper, "Why would they keep this one?" There are very few who see any value in such a gargoyle. Most believe it's ruining the effect on the other pieces. Since no one seems to care for the work, the gargoyle has become a place for children to climb and for guests to sit. The gargoyle has even collected a few of their names, since some have decided to carve into the stone. Anyone who was visiting could see that no one had placed any value on this statue. While the village has hired experts to preserve the other art, this gargoyle has fallen into disrepair. Where stone once was, a film of moss can now be found. Rust has worked its way across the statue's base. The only distinction in the stone that guests can find are the marks left by those who've decided to imprint their name through the use of steel. In this palace of fine art, there is no other work that seems more out of place than this gargoyle. It wasn't until a little girl took notice of it that anyone seemed to care. While visiting with her parents, the child spent every day of her family's trip taking her handkerchief and wiping away at its face. One day, before she was getting ready to leave, another guest walked by and asked what she was doing. The little girl smiled and said, "I'm wiping away the tears." "What tears?" asked the stranger. "The tears left by this statue," she answered. Puzzled, the stranger walked away and told the others about the child. Soon the word had spread, and everyone left their statues and canvases to see what this little girl was wiping away at. They wanted to find those tears from the gargoyle. One guest, who was looking intently, noticed a change in the statue's coloring. She shouted in disbelief and pointed to what she saw. Soon others could see the difference as well. Everyone stood next to the little girl and started to wipe away the years of dirt and moss. Each person wanted to see what this gargoyle was supposed to be. Not long after, the villagers came to see what was happening. A line had been formed, and everyone was found taking turns wiping away the tears of the gargoyle. By nightfall, everyone could see that the gargoyle was not a gargoyle at all. The statue, which had been neglected and mocked by others, was not some foul creature created to scare children. No, this statue was of Christ the Lord. After removing the rust from its base, visitors could read the words, "O Jerusalem." Everyone is shocked to find that the once hunched creature is now a statue of Christ, looking down at Jerusalem. Every person stopped wiping away at the stone. Though marks still appeared from those who carved their names, every person was bewildered by the change in the statue. Realizing what they had forgotten, the villagers assigned all capable hands to restore this artwork of art to its original state. The next day, the little girl came to say goodbye to her friend. When she arrived, she was relieved to see that her creature was who she thought he was. Before she left, someone had laid down a sign next to the statue that read, "Although I was alone and forgotten, through the eyes of a child I was made whole." This story is written for any child who's been picked on, mocked, or hurt. Like this gargoyle, you may think that you've been forgotten. You may believe that you are alone. Though you may not feel it, some still see you. Remember, there is only one of you, which makes you one of the rarest pieces of art.